My mother-in-law stole money from me and used it to buy herself an apartment. Then she bragged to all the relatives, saying her son had given it to her as a gift. But her happiness didn't last long, because the police showed up at her door. Hello friends. Welcome to the Room of Stories channel. Today, we're going to share a dramatic story about how greed and lies broke a family's trust. A dream of owning a country house was destroyed by betrayal, and a hidden camera revealed secrets that ruined everything. Don't forget to subscribe, hit like, and share your thoughts in the comments. Enjoy the story, and take care of yourselves. My name is Valeria Mikhailovna. I'm 47 years old. I never thought the people closest to me could betray me like this. Let me start from the beginning. It was a Wednesday morning, and I woke up in a great mood. The sun was shining through the window of my office in the headquarters of Krasota, a chain of beauty stores. At home, I had 3 million rubles saved in a safe, money I had worked hard for over 15 years. I managed 12 stores, dealt with suppliers, motivated staff, and saved every ruble to one day buy a country house for our family. My husband, Konstantin, worked as a manager at a car dealership. He had just turned 50, but he looked younger, tall, fit, with thick hair just starting to turn gray. We had been married for 15 years, and I never regretted choosing him. He was calm, reliable, and caring. But one thing always bothered me. He was too attached to his mother. His mom, Zinaida Petrovna, lived alone in a small apartment on the edge of the city. She was 72, a retired librarian, thin, always dressed neatly, with short hair and sharp gray eyes. She never liked me. She always thought her son could have married someone better. Still, we kept things polite on the surface. That day, I stayed late at work, going over sales reports. When I got home around 9 p.m., Konstantin met me at the door. "Valeria, Mom came over today," he said, helping me take off my coat. "Did something happen?" I asked. Though it wasn't unusual, his mom often visited without calling. "No. She just came by. We had some tea and talked. She asked what our summer plans were." I nodded and didn't really think much of it. I went into the bedroom and changed into my home clothes. In the mirror, I saw a tired but happy woman looking back at me. I really enjoyed my work. My salary kept going up every year. Soon, Konstantin and I would finally be able to buy the country house we dreamed of. We already had 3 million rubles saved. The money had been in our home safe for 6 months. I saved it slowly, adding a little from every paycheck, every bonus, and any extra income. The safe was hidden in the living room, made to look like a bookshelf. Only Konstantin and I knew about it. I didn't trust anyone else with that information. That weekend, Konstantin and I went to look at land outside Moscow. We saw a few nice options. 500 square meters of land, space for a 150 square meter house, close to a forest and a river. The price? Exactly 3 million rubles. But then something happened that made me feel uneasy. One day, after work, I was walking through our building's courtyard when our neighbor, Aunt Galia, called out to me. "Valeria Mikhailovna, your mother-in-law has become so generous lately. Can you believe it? Yesterday, she gave me an expensive set of cosmetics and said, 'Use them in good health.' She also gave Maria Petrovna from the 5th floor some French perfume." I stopped in my tracks. Zinaida Petrovna had always been super careful with money. She lived very simply on her pension. Where would she get the money for luxury gifts? Maybe her pension went up? I guessed. No, Aunt Galia replied. She told me big changes were coming in her life. She was all secretive and glowing with happiness. At home, I told Konstantin about it. "That is strange," he agreed. "Mom has been acting a little weird lately. Yesterday she even called and asked me if I needed to borrow money." "Borrow money?" I was shocked. "She lives off a small pension. She said she had some savings she could lend me," Konstantin said. "But I didn't need it, so I said no." That really got me thinking. Zinaida Petrovna had never been generous before, and now she was handing out expensive gifts like it was nothing. And what were these big changes she was hinting at? A few days later, something happened that confirmed my suspicions. I came home early from work and decided to stop by the pharmacy. As I was leaving, I saw a familiar figure across the street. It was Zinaida Petrovna. She was standing with a man in a business suit, talking excitedly. Next to them was a car with a real estate agency logo on the side. I quietly hid behind the corner of the house and started watching. My mother-in-law looked excited. She was waving her hands and showing the man some documents. He nodded and wrote something down in his notebook. Then they both got into the car and drove away. What was she doing with a real estate agent? Was she trying to sell her apartment? Or buy a new one? But with what money? That evening, I tried to gently ask my husband if his mom had said anything about moving. No, she didn't say anything, Konstantin replied. Why do you ask? Oh, just wondering, I said. Maybe she wants to move closer to us? I doubt it, he said. She's used to her neighborhood. She knows all the neighbors. But I had seen her with the real estate agent. So clearly something was going on. And for some reason, she was keeping it a secret from her own son. Over the next few days, I started watching my mother-in-law more closely. Whenever she visited, I noticed she kept looking at the safe in our living room. Before, she never seemed to care about it. It just looked like a regular piece of furniture. But now, she was staring at it like she was trying to remember where it was and how it worked. One day, I found her alone in the living room. Konstantin had gone to the store, and I had just come back from the bathroom. There she was, standing right next to the safe, staring at it carefully. Zinaida Petrovna, are you looking for something? I asked. She jumped, like she'd been caught doing something she shouldn't. No, I was just admiring your furniture, she said. It looks nice and expensive. You must have bought it at a fancy store. Then she suddenly asked, Is the lock strong? What lock? I asked. This one, she said, pointing at the cabinet. You probably use it for important documents, right? I felt a chill run down my spine. She knew it was a safe. But how? Yes, I lied. We keep passports and certificates in there. Oh, good, she nodded. Important documents should be kept safe. After that conversation, I knew something was going on. She was acting way too curious, too generous, too secretive. And that meeting with the real estate agent wasn't just some random thing. I decided I needed to protect our home. There had been a lot of break-ins in our area lately. The local newspaper wrote about it, and neighbors talked about it. Thieves were breaking into homes during the day, when people were at work. I decided to use that as an excuse. At dinner that night, I told my husband, Konstantin, I think we should install a security camera in the living room. A camera? Why? He asked. I read in the newspaper that there have been robberies in our area. I said, thieves usually target homes with expensive furniture and electronics. And we have a big TV, a sound system, and a computer. But we live in an apartment, not a house, my husband said. What's the difference? I replied. The difference is that we're both gone all day at work. The apartment stays empty for about 8 hours. If something happens, at least we'll have a video recording. Konstantin thought about it and agreed. The next day, I went to an electronics store and bought a small camera. The salesman showed me how to install and use it. It's wireless, he explained. It saves videos to the cloud, and you can watch everything from your phone anytime. The quality is great, even at night. And it's small, hard to notice. You can stick it anywhere. I chose a shelf in the corner of the living room. Perfect spot. The whole room was in view, including the area with the hidden safe. I set up the camera and showed Konstantin how to use the app on his phone. Not bad, he said. Now we'll know if anyone comes in while we're out. I didn't tell him I suspected his mother. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe her strange behavior had a simple explanation. But I'd rather be careful than regret it later. The camera ran normally for 2 weeks. I checked the recordings from time to time. Everything looked normal. Just daily life. Me and Konstantin having breakfast, leaving for work, coming home at night. But one morning, while reviewing the night footage, I saw something strange. At 3 a.m., Konstantin got out of bed, walked into the living room, and stood in front of the safe. He just stood there, staring at it for a long time. Then, he went back to bed. In the morning, he acted totally normal, didn't say anything about it. What was that? Just insomnia? Or something else? I decided to keep watching. A few days later, Zinaida Petrovna came over with a surprise idea. Kids, she said, let's go to my friend Lydia's dacha, country house, on Sunday. She invited us. Wants to make shashlik. Which friend? Konstantin asked, confused. You've never mentioned her. Yes, we just met, she said quickly. She lives on the first floor of our building. She recently moved in. Her dacha is in a beautiful place outside Moscow. I looked at her closely. She seemed nervous, talked fast, and avoided eye contact. Thanks, but I already have plans for Sunday, I said. I have a work report due, it's urgent. That's a shame, she replied. And you, Kostya? Will you come? I'm not sure, Mom. I don't really want to go without Valeria. Well, as you wish, she said. I just thought you both needed a break. You're always working and haven't had fresh air in a while. After she left, I started thinking, why was she trying so hard to get us out of the house for the whole day? What was she planning? That night, I checked the camera footage from the day before. Zinaida Petrovna came to our apartment at 2 p.m. while we were at work. She stayed for almost an hour, most of the time in the living room. The camera showed her walking up to the safe and touching it. She was trying to find hidden locks or buttons. My heart started racing. Now I was sure my mother-in-law was planning something with our money. And Konstantin, based on how he kept going to the safe at night, was probably in on it too. But for now, these were just suspicions. I needed real proof. So I decided to wait and see what would happen next. The camera recorded everything in the living room. If they were planning something, I'd catch them sooner or later. And I was right. On Friday evening, Konstantin told me, Valeria, next week I have to go on a business trip. 3 or maybe 4 days. Where to? I asked. To Nizhny Novgorod. A new car dealership is opening. I need to help set things up. You didn't tell me about this before, I said. My boss told me today, he said quickly. It's urgent. I can't say no. I nodded, but something didn't feel right. His voice was unsure, and he didn't look me in the eye. On Saturday morning, after Konstantin left to visit a friend, I called his workplace. Hello, this is Valeria Mikhailovna, Konstantin Demidov's wife. Can you please tell me if he's really going on a business trip next week? One moment, the receptionist said. I'll check. A few seconds later, she came back. No, there are no trips planned for Konstantin Nikolaevich next week. I hung up and felt tightness in my chest. My husband had lied to me. But why? What was he hiding? Suddenly, everything made sense. My mother-in-law had been studying our safe, meeting with a realtor, giving out expensive gifts. Now my husband was pretending to leave town. And the whole time the camera had been recording. I finally saw the full picture. They were planning to rob me. My own family wanted to steal the money I had saved for 15 years. But I was ready. The camera was running. It was recording everything. Whatever they were planning, I'd have the proof. All I had to do now was wait for them to make their move. On Sunday evening, Konstantin said, Valeria, I'm leaving for the business trip tomorrow. My train is at 7 a.m. Okay, I said calmly. Have a safe trip. But in my mind, I thought, let's see what you do once you think I'm far away. Tomorrow was going to be the most important day. On Monday morning, I woke up with a clear plan. If my own family wanted to rob me, fine, let them think they succeeded. I would let them try, but I'd be watching everything. Konstantin was in the hallway, packing a suitcase for his fake business trip. I watched from the kitchen, sipping my morning coffee. He looked nervous. His hands were shaking a little as he zipped up his jacket. Valeria, I'm leaving, he said as he came up to me. I'll call you tonight. Okay, take care. I replied and gave him a kiss on the cheek. As soon as he walked out the door, I opened the camera app on my phone. It was still recording. Perfect. Now all I had to do was wait. But I wasn't just going to sit around. I wanted to make the setup perfect for them. During my lunch break, I called my assistant Anna. Anya, I have a special request, I said. I urgently need to go to St. Petersburg to check how our new store on Nevsky Prospect is doing. When do you want me to go? She asked. Tomorrow morning for 3 days. I know it's short notice, but there are issues with suppliers. I need to go myself. Valeria Mikhailovna, maybe I should go instead? I actually have time this week. No, I have to go. It's important. I need to sign some contracts personally. Can you manage the office while I'm gone? Of course, she said. But it might be hard to get train tickets on such short notice. No problem. I'll fly. I'm booking it right now. I did book a plane ticket to St. Petersburg for Tuesday morning, but I had no plans to actually fly. Instead, I booked a hotel room near her house. From there, I could watch everything and return home at any time. That evening, Konstantin called just like he said he would. Hi, honey. How are you? He asked. I'm fine. How's your business trip? I replied. All good. Busy, but I'm managing. I'll be in meetings all day tomorrow. Got it. I'm leaving tomorrow too, I told him. I'm flying to St. Petersburg. We're having problems with the new store. He went quiet for a second. St. Petersburg, he repeated. How long will you be there? 3 or 4 days. Depends on how fast things get solved. Okay. Well, good luck with everything. Thanks. Talk to you later. I hung up and smiled to myself. He sounded surprised. I bet he called his mom right away to tell her the good news. On Tuesday morning, I really did leave the house with a suitcase, just like I was going to the airport. But instead, I went straight to the hotel where I had booked a room. From there, I could watch everything through the window and on the camera. My room was on the 7th floor. The window faced our apartment building. I sat by the window with a pair of binoculars and my laptop. Now I had double control, watching the camera footage and keeping an eye on the building myself. Around 11 o'clock in the morning, I spotted a familiar figure in the yard. It was Zinaida Petrovna, walking quickly toward our entrance. She was wearing a new coat I had never seen before. It looked expensive and made from high-quality fabric. Where did a pensioner get something like that? I opened the camera app on my phone and started watching closely. My mother-in-law entered our apartment using a key. So, Konstantin had given her a spare. She walked straight to the living room and stood in front of the safe. Then she took out her phone and made a call. Kostya, it's me. Everything's fine. She's gone. I'm in the apartment now. Yes, I'll start right away. So they were working together. Konstantin was running the whole thing from wherever he was hiding. Zinaida Petrovna walked up to the safe and started inspecting it. She touched the surface, searched for hidden buttons or levers. Then she pulled a tool out of her bag. It looked like a screwdriver. I held my breath. The most interesting part was just beginning. She worked on the safe for about 20 minutes. She clearly knew what she was doing. Finally, I heard the click, and the door opened. I saw her face light up when she looked inside. There were stacks of cash. She took out all the money and started counting it. 3 million rubles were now lying on our coffee table in neat piles. She counted them twice, just to be sure, then put everything into a sports bag she had brought with her. Then she made another call. Kostya, are we good? Yes, I've got it all. I'm going home now, then heading to the realtor. No one saw me. I was careful. I left no trace. She closed the safe, wiped it clean with a cloth, and packed away her tools. Then she walked through the whole apartment checking to make sure. She hadn't left anything behind. Finally, she picked up the bag full of money and walked out. I watched from the window as she left the building and headed toward the bus stop. The bag looked heavy in her hands. So, that was it. My mother-in-law had stolen my money. 3 million rubles I had saved over the last 15 years were now in her bag. But that was just the beginning. I wanted to see what she would do next. I left the camera running and waited. An hour later, Konstantin came back to the apartment. He looked nervous. He went straight to the living room and checked the safe. It was empty. He sighed with relief. Then he called his mom. Hey, Mom. Everything okay?
Good.
So, when are you going to the realtor? Today?
Perfect.
I'll be home if you need anything. So, the plan was clear. First, steal the money. Then, spend it immediately on buying an apartment. No time to think. no time for regrets. I needed to keep watching. I changed my clothes, grabbed another bag, and went to the neighborhood, where my mother-in-law lived. I had to see her meeting with the realtor with my own eyes. Around 3 in the afternoon, I saw Zinaida Petrovna leave her building. She looked serious, almost like she was dressed for a special event. She was wearing a new coat, her hair was done nicely, and she had an elegant handbag. I followed her quietly, keeping my distance. She went to the city center, straight to the office of a real estate company called Elite Real Estate. It's a well-known company that sells expensive apartments. Outside the office, a man in a business suit was already waiting. The same realtor I saw her talking to a week ago. They greeted each other and went inside together. I sat down at a cafe across the street to watch. About an hour later, they came out. Both of them looked very happy. The realtor was showing her some documents, talking and pointing at the papers. Then they got into his car and drove off. I quickly called a taxi and told the driver to follow them. We ended up at a new residential complex called Golden Keys, in one of the nicest parts of the city. The buildings were recently built, and the apartments there cost at least 4 million rubles. Zinaida Petrovna and the realtor went into one of the buildings. I waited in the taxi for about 20 minutes. When they came back out, my mother-in-law looked thrilled. She was smiling, waving her hands excitedly, talking nonstop. The realtor nodded and wrote something down in a notebook. Then they went to the bank. I kept watching. They spent over an hour inside. When they finally came out, the realtor was carrying a folder full of documents. Zinaida looked tired, but clearly very happy. That's when I understood it was done. She bought an apartment. A luxury apartment. With my money. That evening, I went back to the hotel to think. Now, I had clear proof of the theft. The hidden camera had recorded her opening the safe and taking the money, and I saw with my own eyes how she spent it that same day. But I still wanted to know the full story, so I decided to wait one more day. The next morning, I watched their building from the hotel window. Konstantin left early, like he was going to work, but came back just 1 hour later. So, he wasn't really on a business trip. He had taken time off. Around noon, his mother came over. They sat in the living room and talked for a long time. I turned on the camera to listen. Everything went great, Zinaida was saying. The apartment is beautiful. 3 rooms. Brand new building. It cost 5 million, but it's totally worth it. Mom, where did you get the other 2 million from? Konstantin asked. I told you. I saved all my life. From my pension from part-time jobs. And I also sold my old apartment last month, but I didn't tell you. I wanted it to be a surprise. And where did you live after that? I rented a room from a friend, just for a while. Now I'll have a luxury apartment in the city center. Mom, what are we going to tell Valeria when she comes back? And finds the money missing? We'll say that you lent it to me. I'm your mother. I have every right to ask my son for help. And when things calm down, we'll explain everything to her, Zinaida said. And what if she doesn't believe me? What can she do? Where will she go? You're my son. I'm your mother. Family is sacred. She'll understand. I listened to their conversation, and I could feel the anger rising in me. Not only had they stolen my money, but they were also planning to lie to me, to make it seem like I had agreed to lend it to them. But the worst part was still coming. Kostya, let's have a housewarming party, she said. Let's invite the relatives and the neighbors. Let everyone see what a beautiful apartment I have. Mom, maybe we shouldn't tell everyone just yet. Valeria might start to get suspicious. What's there to be suspicious about? I'll just say my son gave me a gift. A new apartment because he loves his mother. Everyone will be jealous that I have such a wonderful son. I don't know, Mom. It feels a bit awkward. What's awkward about it? You helped your mother. That's how it should be. Let everyone know that I have someone to count on in my old age. Konstantin thought for a moment, then nodded.
Okay, Mom.
We'll have a small housewarming party on Saturday. Just the close relatives.
Perfect.
I can already imagine how jealous Aunt Clava will be. She's always bragged about her kids. But now she'll see what my son can do. I turned off the recording and leaned back in my chair. So, the housewarming party was going to be on Saturday. My mother-in-law wanted to show off her new apartment, bought with my money, and tell everyone it was a gift from her son. But I decided to let them enjoy it for now. Let them celebrate. Let them brag. That will only make their fall harder when the truth comes out. On Thursday, I came home from my business trip. I arrived in the evening, pretending to be exhausted. Valeria, how are you? Kostya asked, greeting me in the hallway. I'm so tired. I've been working for 3 days nonstop. I just want to take a bath and go to sleep. Of course, darling. Go rest. I went into the bedroom to change clothes, then walked into the living room. The safe was still there. Everything looked normal, but I knew it was empty. Kostya, how was your business trip? I asked.
Great.
I got everything done, but I missed you so much. I missed you too, I said. We hugged, and I felt his body tense up. He was scared. Scared I'd go check the safe and find out the truth. But I didn't check it. Let him think he still has time to come up with an excuse. On Friday night, Zenaida called us. Kids, I have good news, she said happily. I bought a new apartment. A beautiful 3-room place in the city center. I pretended to be surprised. With what money? Kostya helped me, she said proudly. He gave me some money as a loan. What a wonderful son I have. I looked at my husband. He stood next to me, eyes down, not saying a word. Kostya gave you 3 million rubles? I asked. Yes, she said. He told me, Mom, take it. Buy yourself an apartment. I really needed it. I felt like I was suffocating in that tiny 1-room apartment. Now I'll have a beautiful, comfortable home. I see, I replied. And when are you going to pay back the money? I'll pay it back slowly, she said. Kostya isn't rushing me. He understands I don't have much money, but I will return it. I promise. All right. Congratulations on your purchase. Thank you, dear. Tomorrow I'll officially move in. You must come see it. Come look at my new apartment. I invited all the relatives. Let everyone see what kind of son I have. After the call, I quietly went to the bedroom. Konstantin followed me. Valeria, I can explain, he said. Explain what? I snapped. That you gave our money to your mom without asking me? That's not a small thing. She really begged me, he said. She said this was her last chance to get a decent place. She's too old to get a loan, and she doesn't have time to save up again. So, you thought it was okay to just take our savings? I said. Our money. We're a family, he replied. And families make sacrifices. I thought you'd understand.
No.
Families make decisions together. What you did was stealing. Valeria, don't say that. Mom will return the money.
When?
In 10 years? 20? I asked. We'll figure it out, he said. Maybe I'll work more. Take extra jobs. I looked at my husband and realized he really believed he had done the right thing. In his mind, helping his mom mattered more than keeping his wife's trust.
Fine, I said.
Tomorrow we'll go see it. The apartment your mom bought with my money. Valeria, I know you're upset, but Mom is so happy. You should have seen her face. I'll see it tomorrow, I replied. On Saturday, we went to my mother-in-law's new place. It was truly luxurious. A brick building with a beautiful front, well-kept landscaping in a nice neighborhood. The apartment was on the 5th floor with a park view. Zenaida Petrovna greeted everyone in a brand new dress with professional makeup. She looked 10 years younger, glowing with joy. Come in, she told the guests. Look at the apartment my son bought me. And the place really was stunning. 3 rooms, high ceilings, big windows. Expensive renovations. There was a modern kitchen living room, 2 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms. All the furniture was brand new and high-end. Zenaida Petrovna, what a beautiful place you have, Aunt Klava said with admiration. And what a caring son. Yes, I'm lucky with him, the mother-in-law replied proudly. He told me, Mom, enough of living in that dump. Get yourself a proper home. He gave me the money, didn't hold back at all. How much did it cost? Someone asked. 5 million rubles. But Kostya said, "Don't worry about the money, Mom. The important thing is that you're comfortable." I stood there listening, and inside I was boiling. My mother-in-law was showing off with my money, making it sound like her son had lovingly gifted it to her. And all the guests were impressed, praising Konstantin for being such a generous man. "Kostya, you're a golden son," said his cousin. "Not everyone would do something like this." "I just want my mom to be happy," Konstantin said quietly. "That's right," someone agreed. "Parents are sacred. We should protect and support them." At the table, my mother-in-law started telling the full story.
"Can you believe it?" she said.
"I went to the real estate agent and he told me, these kinds of apartments sell fast. You need to decide now." But I didn't have the money ready. So I called Kostya and told him. And he said, "Don't worry, Mom. I'll handle everything." And you know what? The money was ready the next day. What a son. The guests were amazed. "Yes, I'm really lucky," she smiled. "Kostya has always been a caring boy. And now he's become such a great man. And his wife has a good job too. She can help her mother-in-law without a problem." I just sat there, quiet, thinking about what I would do tomorrow. I have proof. A video from our camera shows my mother-in-law breaking into our safe and taking the money. I also have evidence that she bought the apartment that same day. She stole my money to buy herself a new place. And now she's showing off to everyone, pretending her son gave it to her. But her happiness won't last long. Tomorrow I'll take action. "Valeria, why are you so quiet?" Aunt Klava asked. "Aren't you a little jealous of your mother-in-law's beautiful apartment?" "I'm not jealous," I replied calmly. "I just think everyone should live using their own money." "But families are supposed to help each other," she said. "Helping means asking for permission," I said. "Stealing is a crime." The room went quiet. Everyone stared at me. "Valeria, what are you talking about?" my mother-in-law asked. "Nothing special," I said. "I just believe that honesty is the foundation of any family." Konstantin touched my hand like he was trying to tell me to stop. But I had already said what I wanted to say. I stayed silent for the rest of the evening, just watching. My mother-in-law kept bragging, and the guests kept admiring her. No one knew that everything would change the next day. Later, as we were heading home, Konstantin tried to talk. "Valeria, why did you say that in front of everyone?" Mom was really upset. "She was upset?" I said. "And what about me? Should I be happy I got robbed?" "No one robbed you. Mom asked me for help, and I said yes." "You said yes for me, without asking me first? I thought you'd understand." "I do understand," I said. "I understand that I live with a man who thinks it's okay to steal from his wife to make his mother happy." "Valeria, let's not fight. Mom will return the money, you'll see." I went to bed without another word. And when I woke up the next morning, I had a clear plan. This ends today. My mother-in-law stole my money, bought herself an apartment, and now she's showing it off to everyone. But her joy is about to end. It's time to set things right. That Sunday morning I woke up knowing I couldn't keep quiet anymore. The party was over. She got her moment of admiration and attention. Now it's my turn to act, but first I needed to get all the security camera videos in the best quality. I downloaded the recordings from the last 3 days onto several drives. The video of the theft was perfectly clear. You could see everything. Every move, every gesture, even hear all the phone conversations. As usual on Sundays, Konstantin went to the gym. While he was gone, I rewatched all the footage carefully. The video clearly showed my mother-in-law entering the apartment, opening the safe, counting the money, and putting it into her bag. You could even hear her phone call with Konstantin. They were working together. But I didn't think that was enough. I decided to collect more proof. I called the bank where she had made the payment for the apartment. I introduced myself as her daughter-in-law. "Hello, this is Valeria Mikhailovna, daughter-in-law of Zinaida Petrovna Kulikova. She recently made a large purchase, an apartment. Can you please confirm the date of the transaction?" The bank employee replied, "Let me check. Yes, Zinaida Petrovna Kulikova. She purchased real estate on the 14th. The amount was 5 million rubles. Thank you. Was it paid in cash?
No.
It was a bank transfer. She deposited 3 million in cash into her account. The other 2 million were already there. Thanks again.
Perfect.
That confirmed it. She deposited exactly 3 million rubles in cash. That's the same amount stolen from our safe. Next, I called the real estate agency Alet Real Estate. Good afternoon. My name is Valeria Mikhailovna. I'd like some information about buying an apartment in the Zolotai Klyachi complex. I heard a client named Kulikova recently worked with you. Yes, I remember her, said the agent. Everything was done very fast, in just one day. She was very happy with the deal. Can I ask, did she pay in cash?
Partially.
She said her son helped her with the money. A very caring son. You don't see that often. I see. Thank you. I gathered everything. The camera footage, the bank records, and the contact details of the realtor. The file was complete. I was ready to go to the police. But before that, I wanted to give my mother-in-law one last chance to tell the truth. I called her. Zinaida Petrovna, it's Valeria. How's the new apartment? Oh, Valerichka, it's wonderful. I'm so happy. I can't even describe it. The place is beautiful, the neighbors are nice, and the neighborhood is very upscale. Kostya gave me such a gift. A gift? Yesterday, you told everyone it was a loan, that you were going to pay back. Well, yes, technically a loan, but my son said he's not in a rush to get it back. Maybe I won't repay it at all. He doesn't mind. Zinaida Petrovna, I want to be clear. Do you understand that was my money? I've been saving since I was 15 to buy a country house. Sweetheart, don't be selfish. Family is about helping each other. Today the son helps the mother. Tomorrow, the mother helps the son. That's normal. And what if I don't agree to give away my savings? Suddenly, her tone changed. Her voice got sharp. And who's asking you? Kostya is my son. He has the right to manage the family's money. And you, as the wife, must obey your husband's decisions. Obey. Zinaida Petrovna, are you serious? Completely serious. In my day, wives knew their place. You modern girls think you can do whatever you want. You really believe women aren't equal to men?
Exactly.
And thank you for being honest, I said. You're welcome, she replied. And by the way, Valeria, don't ruin my good mood. Just yesterday, I told all my relatives what a wonderful son I have. How well he takes care of his mother. Let them be jealous. I'll definitely tell all my friends too. Yes, of course. A caring son like that deserves to be known. That's right. We should be proud of men like him. I hung up and smiled. Finally, my mother-in-law showed her true self. She openly said she had the right to my money, and that I should stay quiet and obey. And now she wanted to keep bragging about it? Enough was enough. On Monday morning, I went to the police station. I brought all the files, papers, and video recordings with me. They sent me to Major Petrov, an investigator for financial crimes. Valeria Mikhailovna, tell me what happened, he said. I told him everything. How I had saved the money, how I got suspicious, how I installed the camera, and how I caught the theft on video. I showed him the footage where my mother-in-law opens the safe and takes the cash. The video is very clear, the investigator said. You can see everything perfectly. Who is she talking to on the phone? He asked. My husband. He was helping her and leading the whole thing. I see. So this was an organized plan. Are you sure you want to file a report? These are your relatives after all. I'm completely sure. Theft is theft, no matter who does it. All right. I'll need time to review all the evidence and run a forensic check on the video. We'll call them in for questioning soon. Can they be arrested? Absolutely. We have every reason to. This is major theft, done by an organized group, and they use tools to open a safe. That's serious. Great. I'll wait for the next steps. I walked out of the police station feeling relieved. Finally, the process had begun. Now my mother-in-law and husband would be held responsible for what they did fully and legally. When I got home, Konstantin looked nervous. Valeria, where have you been? I was worried. I had to take care of something important. Kostya, we need to talk. About what?
About the theft.
About how you and your mother robbed me. He went pale. Valeria, I told you, Mom needed help. I couldn't say no. She asked you to break into our safe and take my money? It wasn't stealing, it was borrowing. Borrowing without asking is still stealing. And stealing has legal consequences. Valeria, what are you saying? Legal consequences? I filed a police report. I gave them all the proof. Konstantin dropped onto the couch like his legs gave out. You reported us to the police?
Exactly.
I have video proof, your mother opening the safe and taking the money. There are also phone recordings and bank records showing she used the money to buy the apartment. But Valeria, we're family. How could you call the police on your own family? Family means trust and making decisions together. But what you did was a crime. And crimes don't disappear just because it's family. But Mom will return the money. Yesterday, she told me straight out that she might not give it back, that it was a gift from her son. So no, she doesn't think it was wrong. She was just excited. She didn't mean it like that. Kostya, stop making excuses. You both stole my money and bought an apartment with it. That's a crime. Let's fix this peacefully. We'll sell the apartment and give the money back. Why get the police involved? Too late. The report is already filed. You'll be called in for questioning in a few days. Konstantin covered his face with his hands. I didn't think you could do this, Valeria. Betray your own family. Betray? You betrayed me. You stole from me and acted like it was nothing. And now you're still defending it. We weren't bragging. Mom was just happy she has a proper place to live now. No, she was bragging, calling all your relatives, telling them what a generous son she has, acting like the apartment was a gift from you. I said it slowly, on purpose. Konstantin looked up at me. Valeria, I know you're upset, but think about what will happen. If we're convicted, my career's over. Mom won't survive jail. You should have thought about the consequences before stealing from me. But we didn't mean any harm. We just wanted to help Mom. Help her with my money without asking? That's not help. That's theft. Just then, the phone rang. It was Zinaida Petrovna. Kostya, are you home? Can I come over? I want to see the apartment again, for comparison. Mom, now's not a good time.
Why?
What's going on? Konstantin glanced at me, then said, Valeria reported us to the police. For stealing money. There was silence on the other end for a few seconds. What do you mean, a police report? She finally asked. She thinks we stole from her. She went to the police with evidence. What evidence? She has video of you opening the safe and taking the money. What video? What camera? A hidden camera in the living room. She installed it a few weeks ago. So she set us up on purpose. She left so we'd fall into the trap. Looks like it. Oh, that Valeria. Just wait. I'll show her what happens when you call the police on your mother-in-law. She hung up. Half an hour later, she stormed into our apartment. Valeria, how dare you? She shouted from the doorway. You really went to the police against your own family?
Very easily, I said.
I walked in, gave a statement, and handed over the evidence. Evidence? You set us up. You put that camera there on purpose. You went on that trip just to trap us. I protected my money from thieves. And I did the right thing. Thieves? How dare you call me that? I'm your husband's mother. And what gives you the right to steal? Just because you're his mother? I didn't steal. Kostya gave me the money. Kostya gave you my money without asking me. That's theft. You're insane. You have no sense of family. No conscience. I do have a conscience. That's why I couldn't stay silent when I was robbed. Robbed? We helped you. Kostya told me you had plenty of money, that you could afford to help. I saved that money for 15 years. I sacrificed for it. So what? You're young, healthy. You can save more. I'm not so young anymore. And where do you expect me to get more money at this age? Not my problem. Earn like the rest of us. Earn for retirement. You've completely lost your mind, Zinaida Petrovna. You stole my money, bought yourself an apartment, and now you're angry that I went to the police? That's the real madness. Madness? No. What's truly shameless is calling the police on your mother-in-law. In my day, you'd be kicked out of the house for that. Well, times have changed, and now, stealing is a crime, even if it's family. Valeria, please, Konstantin interrupted. Withdraw the report. We can settle this peacefully.
No.
The report's already filed. The case is open. Let the police investigate. Valeria, think about the family, he said. There was a family until you decided to rob me. We didn't rob you. We just needed help. No one asked me for help. You took the money secretly behind my back. But we're not strangers, we're family. Family means trust. And you broke it. Suddenly, Zinaida Petrovna's face changed. Valeria, if you don't withdraw the report, I'll sue you for slander. Slander? For what? I saw you take the money. I gave real evidence. I have witnesses, she said. Relatives. They all heard Kostya say, he gave me the money freely. They can talk all they want. I have a video of you opening the safe. That's stronger than anything they can say. Then I'll say you edited the video. That's fine. Experts can check it. Modern tech can easily prove if something's fake. Valeria, please, she suddenly softened. I'm an old woman. My heart's not well. I won't survive prison. You should have thought about your health before you stole my money. But I didn't mean any harm, she said. I just wanted to live in decent conditions. By using my stolen money? I cut in. It wasn't stealing. Kostya gave it to me. Kostya gave you my money, without my permission. I'll say it one last time. That's called stealing. Konstantin dropped to his knees. Valeria, please. Take back the police report. I'll work day and night. I'll pay back every cent. It's too late. The case is already open. But I love you.
Do you?
People who love each other don't steal from one another. I didn't steal. I was helping my mother. With my own money.
No.
With my money. And without asking. Valeria, I'm willing to do anything. I'll get 3 jobs if I have to. I'll return it all. That doesn't change what happened. You took my money and spent it. That's a crime. On Wednesday morning, I got a call from the police. Valeria Mikhailovna? This is Investigator Petrov. We're ready to arrest the suspects. Can you tell us where to find them? Konstantin is working at the premium auto dealership on Moskovsky Avenue. Zinaida Petrovna is probably home, in her new apartment, Golden Keys Complex. Thank you. We'll proceed with the arrest. I hung up, and for the first time in weeks, I felt relief. Finally, justice. An hour later, Konstantin called me. Valeria, the police are here at my job. They're arresting me in front of everyone. I know, I said calmly. The investigator told me, please, Valeria, tell them it's a misunderstanding. There's no misunderstanding. You stole my money. I reported it. But they're putting me in handcuffs. All my coworkers are watching. I'm sorry, but these are the consequences of your actions. Valeria, please forgive me. I'll never do anything like this again. It's too late. You should have thought about that before. The call disconnected. They must have taken him away. Half an hour later, my mother-in-law called, screaming. Valeria, what have you done? The police just came to my apartment. All the neighbors saw. What did you expect? That you'd commit a crime and nothing would happen? What crime? I'm your mother-in-law. You're a thief. Being a mother doesn't change that. Valeria, please. Take back the statement. I'll return the money. Where would you get it? You spent it all on that apartment. I'll sell the apartment.
Fine.
The court will make you sell it. What court? Criminal court. You'll be charged with large-scale theft. Valeria, how could you do this to me? I'm your mother-in-law. We're my mother-in-law. Now you're just a criminal. My heart hurts. I think I'm going to die. Then call an ambulance. But first, go to the police station. You're cruel.
Cold.
Heartless. I'm protecting my rights. That's not heartless. That's justice. Valeria, I swear I'll sell the apartment. I'll pay back every penny. You can explain that to the investigator. Valeria, please forgive me. I'll never do this again. It's too late. The decision's already been made. I hung up and turned off my phone.
I was done talking about it.
That evening, I went to the police station to check on the case. Valeria Mikhailovna, the investigator said, we've arrested both suspects and questioned them. They've admitted part of what they did.
Part of it?
I asked.
Yes.
Konstantin says he just wanted to borrow the money and planned to pay it back. Zinaida Petrovna says her son gave her the money as a gift. So, they don't feel guilty? Not really. But we have solid evidence. The video was confirmed to be real. The bank records prove the stolen money was used to buy the apartment. What are they facing? Theft on a large scale, committed by a group. They could get 3 to 7 years in prison. The apartment will be taken by the court as evidence. After the trial, it will be sold and the money returned to you. That's good. Thank you for your work. Valeria Mikhailovna, are you sure you don't want to settle this peacefully? They are your family, after all. They were my family. Now they're just thieves who stole from me. I understand. Then, be ready for trial. 2 months later, the trial began. Konstantin and Zinaida Petrovna sat in court. They looked tired and older than before. Zinaida kept holding her chest like she was sick, trying to get sympathy. The prosecutor read the charges. They're accused of stealing a large amount of money, he said. It was planned, organized, and done using special tools. Their lawyer argued it was just a family issue. Your Honor, he said, they're close relatives of the victim. Konstantin is her husband, and Zinaida is her mother-in-law. They didn't mean to steal. They just wanted to borrow the money for a while. But the prosecutor didn't back down. This was no accident, he said. They waited until the victim left, broke into her safe using tools, took all the money, and bought property the very same day. This is not a family misunderstanding. This is theft. When it was my turn to speak, I stood up and said, Your Honor, I saved that money for 15 years. I gave up many things to save it. I dreamed of buying a small house in the countryside. But they stole it from me, every last penny. They spent it on an apartment that my mother-in-law bought. Then she went around telling everyone her son had gifted it to her. But she didn't enjoy it for long, because the police showed up soon after. Zinaida Petrovna tried to defend herself. Your Honor, I didn't steal anything. My son gave me that money. He told me they had plenty and wanted to help their mother. But the judge stayed firm. To the defendant, he said, Do you have any proof that your son had his wife's permission to give away the money? No, they replied. Then it's theft. No one is allowed to use someone else's money without their permission. Konstantin tried a different approach. Your Honor, I'm ready to pay everything back. We'll sell the apartment and return the money. But the judge replied, Paying back the money doesn't erase the crime. Theft is still theft. The sentence was tough. Konstantin got 4 years in prison. Zinaida Petrovna got 3 years, but it was a suspended sentence because of her age and health. The apartment was taken by the court, sold, and the money was returned to me. After the trial, Zinaida Petrovna came to me. Valeria, are you happy now? You sent my son to jail. You left me homeless. I was just defending my rights. That's normal. Normal? You destroyed our family.
No.
You destroyed it when you chose to steal from me. We didn't steal. We just asked for help. You don't ask for help by breaking into someone's safe. Valeria, how can you live with this? Doesn't your conscience bother you? My conscience is clean. I didn't steal. You did. You destroyed the family. Zinaida Petrovna got angry and walked away. I never saw her again. The apartment was sold 6 months later. I got all my 3 million rubles back. Konstantin was sent to a regular prison. He tried writing me letters, but I never replied. I divorced him before the trial. I didn't want to carry the last name of a thief. Now I live alone in a new house that I bought with the return money. It's beautiful, with a garden, forest, and river nearby. It's the kind of house I'd been dreaming about for 15 years. But honestly, I'm not that happy. The house is big, but I'm alone in it. No one visits. No one shares it with me. Even my friends and coworkers avoid me. Not everyone wants to be around a woman who sent her husband to prison. Sometimes I wonder, maybe I should have forgiven him. But then I remember that smug smile at the housewarming party and how boldly my mother-in-law told me her son had given her the apartment. And I feel sure again, I did the right thing. That I remember what she said, that a wife should obey her husband, that she had a right to my money. But no, I did the right thing. My mother-in-law stole my money, bought herself an apartment, and then bragged to all her relatives that her son had gifted it to her. But her happiness didn't last long, because the police came and she had to face the law. Konstantin got out of prison early after 2 years. He tried to meet with me, asked for forgiveness, and promised to start over. But I said no. The trust was broken, and once trust is gone, you can't fix it. Before the trial, Zinaida Petrovna sold her old apartment and spent the money on lawyers. Now, she lives with a distant relative and survives doing small jobs. Sometimes she calls and asks me for money, but I don't answer. My ex-husband's relatives blame me. They say I'm cold, heartless, that I broke the family over money. But I don't let it bother me. I know I did the right thing. My story became well-known in town. Some people support me. They say I stood up for myself. Others judge me, saying family problems shouldn't go to court. And some just stay away from me, afraid I might do the same to them. Work became harder. My coworkers were cautious around me. My bosses stopped giving me important tasks, afraid it might affect their reputation. So I quit. Now I run my own small consulting business. I help people with financial problems and protect their rights. I have clients and I earn well. But my personal life hasn't gotten better. When men hear my story, they avoid me. Who wants to date a woman who sent her own husband to prison? And I've changed too. I've become more careful, more suspicious. I still have cameras in my house. Now there are even more in every room. I don't fully trust anyone. I keep my money in the bank, actually in several banks. No one knows how much I have. Some evenings, I sit in the living room of my beautiful house, look out at the garden and think about everything that happened. I have the house. I have the money. Justice was served. But happiness, that's still missing, but there's no happiness. A month ago, I saw Konstantin on the street. He looked much older, tired, worn out. He now works as a loader at a construction company. He tried to talk to me, but I just walked past. We have nothing to talk about. Zinaida Petrovna died last winter. Her heart couldn't take it. I wasn't invited to the funeral, and I wouldn't have gone anyway. To me, she died the moment she broke into my safe. My relatives still blame me for her death. They say I caused her heart attack. But I don't feel guilty. She made her choice. She chose to steal from me. Now I'm 50 years old. I live alone. I work, I travel, I have financial security, and I don't owe anything to anyone. It seems like I should be enjoying life. But there's no joy. Maybe I was too harsh. Maybe I should have given them another chance. But if I had, they would have thought stealing was okay. They would have believed I'd accept any humiliation just to keep the family together.
No.
I did the right thing. Everyone must take responsibility for what they do. Stealing is a crime, no matter who does it. And crimes must be punished. My mother-in-law stole my money and used it to buy herself an apartment. Then she went around telling everyone her son had gifted it to her. But her happiness didn't last. The police came, and she had to face the law. I stood up for myself. I made sure justice was done. Yes, the price was high. I lost my family. I was left alone. But I kept my dignity and self-respect. Every evening, I turn on my security cameras, check the doors, and set the alarm. I live in a beautiful home, but it feels more like a fortress. I don't trust anyone. I don't rely on anyone. Maybe that's the cost of justice. Loneliness. But I'm willing to pay it. Better to be alone and right than surrounded by people who lie and steal from you. The camera told the truth. And that truth set me free. Free from false hopes, from illusions, from people who thought I was easy to take advantage of. Now I know my worth. And I won't let anyone lower it again. The story is over. Justice was served. And as for happiness, maybe it's not about having a family. Maybe it's about living honestly, standing up for yourself, and not letting anyone trick you. Time will tell.